Hey, it's Greg Milby, community storyteller for Kentucky's Heartland, and I am joined by three distinguished people today, and we appreciate them joining us. Elizabethtown Mayor Jeff Gregory down there in the corner. We also have Hardin County School Superintendent Terry Morgan and Elizabethtown Independent School Superintendent Kelli Bush. So a little discussion today. COVID-19 continues to change things in our world. Right when we think that we have started to get things under control, things change again. So I think our community is definitely dealing with COVID fatigue. We see more people not following all the safety protocols that have been put into place. But I think people are tired, but we need our kids back in school. So we need them to kind of rejuvenate their energy and kind of freshen up where they are with these COVID protocols. So I wanted to talk to the superintendents a little bit about the challenges that each of you are having to deal with as a school district right now. Kelli, can you tell us a little bit about the challenges that E-Town Independent Schools are dealing with?
Yes, absolutely. What we have seen is as the community rates have increased, so have those rates, although minimally, compared in our schools and in our districts. So I think right now we have I think 2 active cases. We have about 6 active exposures or quarantines, but with the last couple of days, we have had many staff members. We've got about 15 to 20 that are possible quarantine right now. So it's just, we have done a great job. I've been so proud of our parents and our students and our staff members of following all the protocols, masking up, social distancing, all the cleaning protocols, and we've been able to keep it out of the schools. But as that has risen in the community, we have seen that really start to flow into the schools, and we really want to get our kids back in school because we know that's the best place for them to have the highest quality of learning. And so we're trying to get that, but the staffing is really what's tripping us up at this point because of that community rise.
Okay. All right. It's good information to share there. Terry, what can you share about Hardin County Schools and the challenges that you guys are dealing with?
What I can share with you is that our students have been amazing. Our staff has been amazing. But unfortunately, when you have a map out there that the week before spring break was at 11.6% overall, and now you're above 45%. And that raises concerns for our staff, for our students, and for the community. We were doing a phenomenal job of minimizing the number of contacts within the school district. However, what we have is a number of students are on quarantine because of a positive case within the family, and then that brings it into the school setting if that student turns into a positive case, and then we have multiple contacts within the school setting. So what we're seeing is as the community, for lack of a better term, fails to follow the recommendations, the impact on education is us having to cancel in-person classes. While our goal is to get back to 5 days a week with all of our students, that line keeps getting pushed further and further down the road as the number of cases increase in the community.
All right. Well, let's just get right to that. The next question: what is needed for our kids to get back into the classroom? What do we need to do?
What we really need is for everyone. I know it's inconvenient, and I know you have a right not to wear a mask. However, we have an issue here that we need to protect everyone in the community. So if wearing that mask out in public could be completed by every person, that will help our schools get back to in person, and it will get our economy rolling throughout Elizabethtown and Hardin County. So again, wearing the mask, social distancing, washing your hands, those are just great measures that will keep us in school. And as you notice, both Elizabethtown and Hardin County schools, we have had very few cases as a result of being in school. And so what that shows is wearing the mask, social distancing is working, and it will work for our community.
Okay. Yeah. Kelli, what about you? What does the school district need to do, or the community need to do?
I agree completely with what Terry said here. We really have proven in the schools, and it's not just Hardin County, it's all across Kentucky because we're in contact with superintendents everywhere. And the mitigation strategies, if you do them and you put them in place with fidelity, they work. The masking, the social distancing in particular are the two largest and most effective ways that we can do this. And so, we're very similar in that when we have students who might be exposed to someone within the school, they don't become positive because we've had the masking and the social distancing in place. So, I concur with what Terry said. We're asking the community to help us out. We want to get our kids back in school, but to do that as a community, we really have to get this turned back around. So what I would ask is, not just the masking and the social distancing, but looking at are there gatherings that we can really decrease? The barbecues or the parties on a Saturday or whatever, those type of things are where we're seeing a lot of the spread happening. And that's from talking to, health department officials, hospital officials. We're all seeing that. And so we need help from the community to kind of buckle down here so that we can get this turned around and get our kids back in school.
So talking about getting the kids back in school, what are you looking for? Is there a specific number, or is there something that you guys watch to know when it's time to step away from NTI and get the kids back in the classroom?
I wish that there was one magic number somewhere that did that, but it is truly multiple factors, and that starts with the incident rate, and that changes daily. But obviously, we're looking to get that community rate back down out of the red. So really 25 or under gets us back in orange, and that really starts to minimize the spread. But we're also looking at number of new cases in the county, number of hospitalizations. Obviously, what do we have going on within the school? That was a big determinant for us for last week when we started to see that gradual increase of exposures and positives with our student and staff. So it's really a combination of multiple factors that are going to have to be coming together on a continual basis to determine when that point is going to happen.
Now, Terry, I know with Hardin County Schools, you guys feel very comfortable that you can control what happens within the walls of the school, but it's what's outside the walls that's causing issues. So is that why we deal with NTI situations?
Absolutely. Greg, I know you like to have your football parties and all that, but I know you are doing your part and not having those gatherings. That is what we need from our community. Is we know you're giving up a little, but it will give a lot back to our school districts, and to be able to get back on track with our education and again with the economy in Hardin County.
All right, Mayor, we're going to go to you now. It's your turn. So we see events and functions on social media that have great intentions, and they've got plans for social distancing. They've got plans for masks. But plans are only as good as people that follow them. So as a parent of school-age kids, what would you like to say to people in our community, and what should we be doing as our COVID numbers continue to rise?
Well, to start off with, Greg, as always, I want to thank you for having us on and getting the opportunity to get out and speak a little bit about some of the things that we're seeing in our community. And the two ladies that you have on with us, I have the utmost respect for, because they're leading a monumental charge when it comes to this school year. And the unknowns and the unforeseens, they've done a tremendous job handling both of them, and we're blessed to have their leadership in our community. But what I would tell you is, and as you spoke of earlier, I know the fatigue set in, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, because it has with me too. And there's times that I've gotten out of my vehicle and forgotten my mask and had to go back and get it, or thought maybe I could run into a store real quick and they wouldn't say anything to me about my mask because I left it in the other car or what have you. But I just would ask that people regroup and be conscientious about the fact that we're trying to reach a goal that's a lot bigger than us individually. And our prized asset in our community is always going to be our children. So if they're missing that time that they should get at school, then they're suffering for that. So if we would all just regroup, focus, do the recommendations that we're getting from Washington, D.C. and from Frankfurt. And I'm not going to go over all those again because everybody knows what they are. But it pertains to wearing the mask mostly and keeping good hygiene. And just make sure that we're doing the little things that we're supposed to, and thinking things out, and going the extra mile. We're going to be a lot better off. And like I said, I know everybody's as tired as I am of it, but we have to make sure that we're focusing on a goal that's bigger than we are. And that's definitely our kids. And I appreciate these ladies and their faculty and staff for what they're doing, and trying to keep things moving in 2020 when it's been so hectic.
That's why doing this little chat was so important, because we wanted to make sure, and I know, Mayor, you wanted to make sure that people had the opportunity to hear from our superintendents and let them share their heart of where we are right now. And I think it's important. And I think it's important that I mentioned too, that this interview was supposed to be done in one location, was socially distancing. But as of last night, I am in a 14-day quarantine. I was exposed to somebody that tested positive for COVID-19, and I'm doing the responsible thing. And I've not been contacted by the health department yet, but I know that call is coming. But I'm being responsible, and I'm isolating for 14 days as we're supposed to do. So we had to punt and do this interview differently. But I think that's kind of where we are in life right now with COVID. Sometimes we've got to step back and punt to make sure that we get ourselves back in a good spot.
And I hope everybody realizes we're not on here demanding, and we can't make people do anything that they don't want to do. We're just simply asking to work a little bit harder, be a little more conscientious. Let's get out and try to do the best that we can, and see if, as Ms. Bush said, get those numbers to drop back down in a manageable zone, so we can continue to educate our kids, let them have the opportunity to do some extracurricular things, and somewhat lead a normal life, because they only get a certain amount of those years when they're young, and then a lot of those things that they were able to do are gone, and we don't want to see them miss those things. So let's all work together, think about each other, and work hard, and try to take as many precautions as we can, and see if we can get those numbers down a little bit.
Well, we're going to be reminding people of that. Kentucky's Heartland, along with the Lincoln Trail District Health Department, Baptist Health Hardin, and our regional schools. And I say regional schools because it's not just in Hardin County, but our surrounding counties. We've created an awareness campaign to remind people to mask up. So beginning next week, the Mask Minute will feature people in the Heartland sharing why they mask up. And everybody has a different reason on why masking up is important to them. So we'll be featuring it. So be looking for that all over the place on social media channels. So, Mayor, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. It's always good to see you. Kelli Bush.
You too, friend.
Thanks for your time. And Terry, I appreciate you as well. You guys are doing a great job. I know sometimes it seems like not everybody notices that, but just know that as parents of students in these school districts, we appreciate all you're doing to keep our kids safe.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Mayor Gregory, thank you for making sure people realize how important this is for our students.
Hey, we all work together, Mrs. Morgan. We're glad to have you all as partners.
Excellent.
All right. That's a chat about COVID-19. We're asking you folks to mask up. I'll put mine up right now. I can't really do it too much, but we'll mask up for you, and we need you to mask up for us. I'm Greg Milby, community storyteller, and this is Kentucky's Heartland.